Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is January 25, 2021, and the time is approximately 1 a.m. in the morning. Yes, I got up early today. Yeah, went to bed early. I was very sleepy. I had gone out yesterday afternoon, and it seems like, boy, going outside kind of wipes me out. And yeah, I had my dinner when I got home in the uh, in the afternoon, and then I watched some of my videos and went to sleep. Yes, yes, you saw on the thumbnail of this live stream that I'm doing, um, the American flag with its symbol of the American eagle. Yes, yes, I love my country, and I served my country in the military. And God bless America. Yeah, I never used to really have this fervor until 4 years ago. And as time went on during these 4 years, I started to appreciate more and more my country. It is far from perfect, uh, but I feel no matter what your background is, whether you're a U.S. citizen or not, the land that you live in, you love the land that you're in. Respect the land. The land is like, think of it like an umbrella. And that umbrella embraces your wall, that umbrella that protects you from harm, from the elements. And that's what this land is all about. It is, in essence, to protect you, to protect your rights, to protect your liberty. In its purity, that's what it's really about, America. Yes, it has its history. We all know that. It has its history. Yes, yes, good morning, viewers. Good morning, good morning. Yes, this is an early one. Yes. Oh, let me get my little doggy. Yeah, my little doggy wants to come up now. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, yeah. He wants to get involved in the video too. Okay, you want to get in there? Hey. Is it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, it's my little baby boy, Lavender. Good morning. Yes, when you come onto this live stream, you could say hello and to give me a thumbs up. It helps the algorithms and to help support my channel if you wish to do so. I thank you in advance. Hey, Camp. If your people weren't on this land before 76, you're going to have to back. You have to go. You have to go back to your country on its land before. Oh, okay, that's interesting. If your people weren't on this land before 76, you have to back to your country. Okay. Oh, I guess that means me. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. But you know what? I was going to say something that and it's being nationalized. Yeah, I love my country. And I'm thinking, I know I was going to say something before I really get into this live stream. Um, I'm reminded really quickly that, yeah, I'm trying to move the mic so you can hear me. Yesterday's video, when I was listening to the playback, it was a little soft. I have to have I know my voice could be very soft, but I want you to hear me. Um, I remember someone saying, people, you have to make a choice. Is America for you a a for money or you love the land. And I met someone a couple of years ago from another country. I'm not going to say what country. Um, and when they said, by implication, that their country has culture, so why are they here? Because they want to take your American dollar. And so I'm going to begin with this live stream that if you have that type of mentality, get out of our country. See, I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your race is. I don't care what your politics are. You uphold the umbrella, so to speak, the U.S. Constitution. It's republic. It's not a democracy. It is a constitutional republic. And if you don't want to maintain that constitutional republic that feeds you, that protects you, then I suggest that you should leave this country and go back to where you come from. And if you're only here for handouts and then curse America and take its money, and when that person said, you know, implying that our country, America, doesn't have culture, but yet he's employed by an American company, I had a serious issue with that. And so that's what I'm going to say up front. Okay, again, it's not about your political party. You can have be a member of any political party, any religion. You could be of any nationality, and lawfully here. Okay, you're all welcome. You're all welcome under the American flag, its umbrella of protection. See, under a constitutional republic, see, it supersedes everything, every political party, every belief system, and even the right to say that our country doesn't have culture, but yours does. But yet you come to this country knowing what it's about, so you can take its resources and then stab us in the back. I'm not about that. And so that's how I begin this live stream. But I want to share with you I want to express my, what happened to me yesterday. Um, just my feelings and what's happening, what's really happening in America. Um, yeah, well, yesterday I had to go. Um, Yeah, like I told you a couple of videos ago that my stroller broke. Remember, I used to do my live streams as I do my walkabouts in the city, to Central Park and the Ramble with my little pack, my little doggies. It broke last month. Yeah, and I showed you that video. Well, a neighbor of mine suggested that I go uptown and you probably look out and find one. Because in my neighborhood here, I can't find the big ones. And some years ago, over 30 years ago, I used to live way, way uptown. And I remember seeing those shopping carts. So I took heart to what my neighbor said. And so I went. Yeah, I was a little hesitant at first because I haven't been on in mass transit, the subway system for um, I think over 7 months, and I was a little anxious going with this COVID and everything. But I said, let me just go, and it was okay. Yeah, oh, I did do, oh, I just remembered. I did take a quick video when I was in the subway of some of the advertisements that were up. Yeah, I'm going to upload that probably tomorrow. Yeah, it shares my sentiment. And I did speak very forcefully about those advertisements. And it's with with the virus thing. Okay, I just give you a heads up. So hopefully I remember to upload it tomorrow. But anyway, um, I went to the old neighborhood. Yes. Um, I got off at 137th Street in Manhattan, the number one line that runs up Broadway. It's a big, big street, Broadway. And in the old neighborhood, the storefronts, it's predominantly, it's a heavy Spanish language feeling. Um, Many of the immigrants are from the Spanish speaking world from the Caribbean. And now, when you go there, there are other people from other places in the Spanish America, of the Americas. Um, I knew it was a good chance that I'd be able to find my stroller, to get a new one, because I was going to buy one online, um, but it'll take a while to get it, and I really need to, because I want to go out with my pack. Sometimes they get tired easy, and I need to get a shopping cart to get my groceries. Yeah, I buy my food. I make my food, and so I need a stroller to do my shopping. A lot of people here in New York City, they eat out. They buy like a little quick meal or something. They get a little bag and they go home. But me, I shop. I'm a shopper. I buy groceries and my refrigerator is very full. But anyway, getting back to the subject. So I did find it right away. I just had to walk 2 blocks and boom, on the opposite side of the street, I could see all these beautiful shopping carts and I found a massive one. Yeah, so I might even do a quick video tomorrow showing you my new shopping cart. Well, when I went up there, I didn't stay up there long, but I walked about, towards the street I used to live on, and I had a positive experience. Yes, it was very good, and my experience was that international flavor. I've always been attracted to multiculturalism. To expose myself to different types of people. Um, and again, I used to live on 149th Street in Manhattan, um, off of Broadway, east of Broadway. And the side streets you could have like you have American blacks, you have Caribbean of various types, but the storefronts right on Broadway is all Spanish speaking. But it was a fun area. I liked it because it seemed international to me. You know, uh, foreign language was spoken everywhere. And I didn't mind it at all. I felt like wow, like back then. This was over 30 years ago. I I felt like I didn't feel like I belonged in America back then, and I felt. Oh, also I have to add, these are my pinhole glasses. Okay, this is called a pinhole glasses. It permits you to see. It exercises your eyeballs. Yeah, my vision to read your comments is very hampered. So I use these now because I need to exercise my eyes to help improve my vision. So I'm not trying to be rude. Yeah, that's what's happening. So I have this on. I'm not trying to be rude, but these are the pinholes, and it exercises my eyes so I can read your comments. Okay. So I just wanted, yeah, I was meaning to say that right away. I don't want people to think I'm being rude or trying to look cool or whatever. I can't read at all without them, without glasses. Yeah. So, yeah, so growing up, I'm born and raised, I'm a third generation New Yorker. My background is from the Caribbean. I say that up front. I didn't know my heritage for the first 17 or 18 years of my life. I always went to, my elementary school was a black school. It is still considered the blackest school in New York City. Um, it's in St. Albans, Queens. But it's slowly changing. You're having the demographic is slowly changing, um, but I didn't know anything else but um, the people that I went to school with. Um, my parents were very American, um, even though their own parents are from the Caribbean. But they back in those days, my grandparents migrated to uh, the U.S. mainland to New York City in the 1920s, the early 1920s. And back in those days, you were either black or white, and you knew up front, coming from the Caribbean. I didn't identify as black. I identified, okay, okay, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Camp. Yeah. So that's the label back in those days. You were expected basically. You live in your neighborhood, um, and so the Caribbeans and American blacks, we all lived together, and they all intermarried. Different island people married each other, uh, amongst each other. Or an what they call African American now, or Black American from the South. Many of them from the South, they moved to New York City. So you had them, you had the Caribbeans. We all intermarried. You're of that generation from the 1920s, 30s. We all intermarried, and um, we all knew what our race was. We all knew what we weren't, at least. We weren't white, and so we really knew our space. And so we just stayed in our neighborhoods, did what was expected of us. We went to college in those days. People educated themselves. My parents went to college. And so my growing up, I didn't know my background, where I came from. I just knew that I was, as I shared with you the other day, I feel like different, even though I'm raised here. Um, I'm an empath. I think that I discover I'm an empath, and I'm here really to learn and help society in some form. But I discovered my heritage late in life, and it was just information. And then I had to, I moved from my family's house, and I got my own apartment on 149th Street. I moved in 1987 to that neighborhood on 149th Street. It was international, I felt. It had like that feeling. I was always fascinated by foreign language and eating people's ethnic foods. I just found it fascinating. And I think in part is because I didn't feel accepted in my own country. I'm being honest. The racism in the 1970s and 80s was very strong against Black Americans. Okay. And so I think I felt like a safe haven in part when I was around other people of color and they spoke another language. And so I felt like I was away, like I wasn't really in America. So I really, how I internalized it was that this was like a safe haven for me. Okay. And I didn't, you know, I just accepted my new environment and the people who I associated with were always people from other countries. I got along with them, and but as time went on, I found that there was a biasness against American blacks. If you weren't from their island or spoke their original tongue, that you get excluded from certain jobs. They only hire their own. If you want to move into a particular building, that they will exclude you uh, from moving in. And these are people of color, and some of these people look like me. And I remember once I had an appointment uh, with this very nice gentleman. Um, from he might have been born somewhere else, um, and he was very nice to me. He was very polite. He was a realtor. He was a brown skinned man um, of Caribbean background, and he had an apartment to show me. And so I was to meet him at the building. And so when I went up there, and I just asked that someone was coming out the building, I said, "Oh, where's the super or where's so and so?" "Oh, well, there's no apartments available here." Now I didn't ask him that. I didn't ask him that what I wanted. I just said, "Where's so and so?" And this person was of the same ethnicity of the other person. And I saw hatred in his eyes, like I don't belong here. And I didn't ask him what he thought, you know, I, but I can feel it. And I could feel that I wasn't wanted. So even though he was a person of color, I wasn't of his ethnicity, because he could hear my accent, my how I talk, and so he knows I'm not of his background. And I didn't like that. But I did find the person I was looking for, and but it was just interesting. So I went. I didn't get that place. I forget what happened, but it's not important. But I did eventually find the place, and I loved it. See, I I'm just fascinated with language. I mean, I'm just English speaking, um, and in college I had to take a foreign language and stuff like that. But um, I was always fascinated with different cultures, and uh, I was not afraid of listening to foreign language, like to be around people who don't speak English. I loved it because it made me feel international. It made me feel like I was a part of something bigger than myself. I love going to like going to Chinatown and see the exotic foods that they have, or where I used to live to hear the music, the foreign music in up in Harlem, and it was all like wow, it was like escapism for me. But the escapism was short lived because as I got older and, I did move and eventually went into the military. And then I came back to New York City and I lived in different places and I keep experiencing the same thing. I had an opportunity to live in the West Indies, the United States Virgin Islands of St. Thomas, and I experienced discrimination. Well, I should say biasness, because I was from the U.S. Mainland, a black person from the U.S. mainland. And it was really something to see black people, I mean, dark skinned black people, and the hatred. And one of them was a man in particular, a very dark skinned black West Indian man whose background actually is from another island. Okay. It was really weird for me, this aggression from a man against me, I'm just a woman. And it was just interesting. And I remember I had gone to the university over there. And again, the hatred, the verbal attack in front of a classroom because I was a so called American. Now, this is the United States Virgin Islands of St. Thomas. This is part of the U.S., okay? And they have the American dollar there. That's the currency there. Um, and they can serve it on military. And when that teacher, it was a professor, and there was next to me a white woman from the mainland and me, and the other West Indian students are around us. He singled me out. He didn't out the white American lady that was sitting in class. He outed me out and started criticizing America. How dare he do that? I never experienced this type of hatred before from um, people who I thought I belonged to because I was told that I was a black person. So why this hatred? So now I was the American, but American black, and the hatred. But see, they didn't bother the white lady, the white American lady. He singled me out, and I didn't say anything. I felt awkward, and I was dumbfounded because I thought we were all one race. I thought we were all black. Well, you have some people of color, whether they identify with their black heritage or they just identify with being a West Indian or whatever. I was experiencing bigotry. And even in Hawaii, the same thing. I was in an environment where my being American wasn't respected, and that island has all these illegals all the way in Hawaii taking your job. Me and the lady who hired me uh, at the company, I used to work in a restaurant, and I and the other lady was let go. It was all about saving money. It wasn't something personal against me. It was all about money. So they kept the illegals who were from this particular place. I'm not going to mention where they were from. Yeah. And I remember the smirk when they got rid of the lady that hired me first. They got rid of her first. And I saw the glee in that man's eye. In this country, and I don't know whether he had his papers to work there, but yeah, they had a group of them working at that restaurant. And I knew my time was short, and yes, a week later they let me go also. And then they also let go this other American guy. See, it was all about trimming the fat. Oh, it was all about money, and I got fed up with that state. I mean, the landscape is beautiful in Hawaii, and so other things happened to me, and so I came back to New York City in 2001, and then 9/11 happened 6 weeks later, and the rest is history. Um, but during that time, like let's see, around February of 2002, I had to find work. And I did find a job right across the street from where the buildings fell down. The air was toxic, and the hatred again. I, if I've shared in past videos, and I'm going to share it again. I was forced to move into a homeless shelter. And I lived in this particular long stay shelter for 13 months before I moved into this place here. And the person who ran that shelter was from another country. And they, when you go into the shelter system, they have your file, what happened to you, what led you there. And mine was a domestic violence situation. And I'm a veteran and proud of it. Okay. And this lady was from this particular group that I feel is trying to take over uh, my country of birth. And she said to me, uh, very harshly, she said, if you don't find a job by the end of this month, you're out of here. Just like that, really mean and nasty. Okay, so there was no love in her heart, and she's from this particular place and spoke this particular language. And again, nothing wrong with the language, because I used to live in a neighborhood that spoke that language, and I loved hearing foreign language. I love it. But I was coming to an awakeness, what's really going on, and who my real friends are. Okay. Um, so I had to hurry to find a job. Again, this was right after the Twin Towers got messed over. Okay. So now this is about, what's that? About 5 months later from that terrible event that happened in New York City on September 11th, 2001. And I knew I'd be able to find a job down there. Um, And I was hesitant. I didn't want to go there, but I was forced to, because no one wants to work down there because the area was all toxic. It was toxic air. See, they're not telling you that, but it was extremely toxic. And yes, I did get sick working there. I had developed very quickly these lumps in my throat. This giant lump. I woke up one day and these giant lumps in my throat. Yeah, probably my lymph nodes were absorbing the toxins, and I got physically sick twice. Um, so I was at that job. It was doing retail, and I had to work again with a whole bunch of people from this particular region of the world, and they were taking these illegals. They have these white trucks that coming from New Jersey, and they put them in the trucks, and then they bring them to downtown Manhattan, and then they fish them out to work in certain industries, certain companies for cheap labor. And I had to work with these people, and they didn't have to speak English either. And some of these people were um, violent. There were fist fights among them. I mentioned that I think yesterday. There were fist fights with these people. And if you were American, and especially a black American, you better not open your mouth or else. And so there was favoritism. So even though I'm American and a citizen and could speak the language, these other people didn't have to speak English, and they didn't have to do like we. There might be like meetings where you have to take the minutes, and one of these people uh, was didn't have to do take the minutes because she didn't know how to write, evidently in English. So she didn't have to do it, but then they had this American black and had to force her to do it. And so one day she spoke up, says, "How come I have to do this, but not so and so?" Well, that was her death sentence. They started to harass her. And you know what else? I had gotten assaulted at that company too. And they covered for her. So it didn't matter what their race was, but their ethnicity. And they covered for each other. And they protected the person that attacked me. I warned the management that this person was harassing me and that they were going to do something to me. I told three management to please help me. And then the attack happened. And they watched and they protected that person. I hear you, baby, my little doggy. You want to come up here, baby girl? I'll bring you up here. Nice little peanut. Look at it. Yeah, all in the family. All in the family, baby. Yeah, mommy bear. Yeah. How about that? How about that? How about that? Yes, let me go on. Okay. So, I saw that I wasn't loved. And I thought these were my friends. But when that attack happened to me, when they covered for her, and then they started um, intimidating me, management, and then they found an excuse to get rid of me. Okay, and the American girl, that black American girl, yeah, people, I'm speaking the truth. When that black American girl got threatened, she was forced to transfer out of our department to try to keep her job. Yeah, they did that to her because she said, "How come she has to take the minutes but not the other person?" Yeah, they were both being groomed for managerial work, you know. But one was the foreigner and one was the American. And there was favoritism. And I found the favoritism from this same group in this other company, the last company I worked for. See, it's being thrown in your face. They didn't want, if you weren't a member, so to speak, uh, you got excluded to work even on a particular floor. The floor that was considered prestigious excluded people who were not of their ethnicity. And the company also excluded black people to work in this other location when it paid more money. That was the main thing. It paid much more money to work that site uh, and excluded black Americans. But with this past election, you see all these black Americans um, talking about um, their, rights and about racism and how a particular person was a racist and we shouldn't have them. And they're being used as the mouthpiece for these other immigrants and these illegals. That's my little girl. And Black America is being fooled again and thinking that these other immigrants are their friend, that they're speaking on behalf of these foreigners who really don't love you. But you're acting as if they love you. but they are actually here to uproot you. So when I see, your country is being taken away from you, and see, you were seduced in 2020, American blacks. You were deceived to think that someone was a bigot and a racist, but who really is the bigot are these new people coming in and uprooting you from your job. This happened to me many times. And each time I want to believe that they really are my friends. I've had them in my home. I had a party and invited everybody. I had blacks, whites, yellow people, Hispanics, Jews. I had everybody in my home. I had a party once in this neighborhood, in this neighborhood that I thought represented that you know expansionism. About learning about new cultures and all that. I loved it, baby. I loved the United Nations type of feel. I always was about that. So it didn't matter that I loved these people. They don't love you. Okay, I'm putting my little doggy down. They didn't love me. Where did the love go? So all these experiences that I was experiencing, and seeing, you know, like I worked at this one place, and this is so typical in New York City. You had a dark-skinned Black American woman, around in her 30s, and she has a sourpuss face on. And then next to her, there's this other ethnic group, and they're rubbing it in her face because she doesn't speak their language. And she feels like an outsider in her own country. I saw what was going on. I spoke to those ladies politely and went out my way to be friendly. And yeah, that's what I do, you know, show the love, whatever. But I see the pain from this American black woman. She didn't speak their language and she was made to feel uncomfortable. And I knew what was going on. I've seen this before in New York City. That's why a lot of American black women are so angry because they're being overlooked. They're being overlooked for jobs. They're being told, okay, so and so doesn't really know how to speak English, but we're going to promote them. But we want you to do the dirty work. We want you, hey, you take the minutes. You know how to write English. We want you to do it. And then you're overlooked for promotions. And then the more and more angry you get. I understand that. I see and I feel for you. But you do foolish things, woman. You were the spokesperson for the past 4 years about what's wrong with America because of who was in office, who was running the country at the time, even though they did everything to improve the black community. I speak of the truth. You know I'm speaking the truth, people. But you stabbed that person in the back. You didn't support him. He's a native New Yorker. This man was a native New Yorker, and you didn't support him, New York. Even though for years, and you had the hip hoppers, the hip hop rap community, you wanted to be seen around him to look cool. He was never called a racist or bigot, whatever. For all those years, for the past 40 years, you said nothing against him. He was one of you, and he embraced you all. He never attacked you, and he did good for the black community. Remember, he wanted to implement the Platinum Plan to help our community specifically. He supported the historically black colleges. He got us out of the unemployment. We in our U.S. history, he improved our economic position in America, all the races in America. But what we do, but what happened? You called him a bigot and a racist, which wasn't true. You're gonna bite the hand that fed you. That's what you did because you believed the hype from the liars. You believe the hype and the lies of those people who are trying to upsert your seat in America. And all over New York City, I see these black women. See, most of the, in my experience with the businesses, when they hire a black person, they usually hire a black woman and then everybody else. And you see the black men living on the street. And the black woman now is not supporting her black man. And they're feminizing the black male. And then the women are getting aggressive. The black women are acting like men, and the men are starting to act like soy boys, okay? And our community is falling down. So what else is going on? See, I speak in the truth, people. So what else happened? So instead, uh, my fellow black woman, black American woman, instead of opening your eyes to what's happening to you, I see how you look in these companies. You all sourpuss because you see your job. You're not getting the jobs, and you have the new immigrants, the ladies. They wear the sexy outfits to show their big breasts, or they wear the tight pants to show their backside, and they wear these hairdos and makeup and stuff. They got it going on, and yes, the men like that, and they hire them. They're not hiring you. You have to work 10 times harder to just get ahead. And these people who don't love America are getting these jobs over you, and they're becoming your boss. And more you become angry. And then in your anger, you believe the hype about this past presidency, and you lied on him collectively, many of you. Some of us supported him. See, it's not about personality. It's not about, it's about what he does. What did that person do that they would help you pull out of poverty? And so it still reminded me of this person who, from another country, who said, implied that America doesn't have culture, but his country. And yet he's working in our country. So I have a problem with that. I slowly see more and more this foreign invasion come into this country. And I just heard on a video that I was just watching that with this new administration, they're going to remove, defund the wall. Um, you're going to have an influx of people from various places who don't love America. And I have a problem with that. And I see where it's headed. And when I did that trip, I took that trip uptown in the old neighborhood, and I was on the train. And when I got off the train, and yes, this particular area, they speak a lot of foreign languages, this foreign language. And, the conductor of the train made an announcement. And then this is the first time in my history this ever happened in New York City. They started speaking a foreign language. Hello? This is going to be a trend now, I perceive. Now, I'm all for, like when you have a poster up, a notice, to have it in different languages. I'm all for that. But when I heard that conductor speak a foreign language, uh, I said, this is where it's heading. And they had he spoke it with confidence, like this is his town now. It's their turn. I became angry. And it was the same feeling as when, during the inauguration, that I saw of that person um, who was singing. And they're born and raised here in America, raised in New York City like myself, and done American movies and everything, always spoken English. And was speaking English, and then before she got off the stage, she started speaking a foreign language. That's what it's about. They are signaling to their people that it's going to be their country and that they're going to dominate it. And that bothers me. See, this country is a constitutional republic, and it's not about where you're from. It embraces all types of people. But one thing you want to maintain is the constitutional republic and a central governance language to unify. But when you start interjecting now that it's going to have another language, then you're going to say you're going to change its culture too and change its governing. I have a problem with that. Now, again, I was raised around different languages and people who I had in my home. I loved to hear languages. I loved it. I loved the epic. I love it. I love visiting these places. So it wasn't about disliking, but I see now that it's a plan to uproot you. And that is my concern in this video. And they go into, the video I was watching that with the new administration here in town, they're going to help facilitate this new language switch. And especially it'll be in these democratic regions. And what else? They're going to make it easy for the people who are already illegal here to get citizenship in an 8-year path. And also to make it that illegal aliens could run, according to this YouTuber, um, that this new administration that's running the country, that they could run for Congress. Could you believe that? You hear what I'm saying out there, YouTuber? You hear what I'm saying? That is what's going to happen. They are passing laws that someone, an illegal alien, could run for Congress seat. And what they're going to do. See, this is a trick from the Democratic Party. See, they know basically if they allow this, the type of voting that they would do in the future. So it's their way to ensure to increase their chances to getting into, you know, government, to run the government and to stay in the government. Could you imagine? You're born and raised here, served your country in the military, and now you're going to have someone who's an illegal alien and giving them the right to run for Congress, this is ridiculous. This is a coup to take over your country. They don't love America. They're not intended to keep America America. And what do I mean by that? By keeping the Constitution. They don't love America. They love what it can give them. They love the resources. They don't respect, they're not respecting the culture. They're not respecting the language in office. So when I heard that person in the inauguration do that thing, switch language. Now, if this person came from another country and uh, in an excitement, whatever, did that, but no, it was for a reason. Just like when I was on the train yesterday, that person did that for a reason to say, I'm taking over. America, take back America. Let's keep America, America. Let's have the people who are here illegally to send them back home, especially those who do not uh, want to learn the culture or the language. You're going to give someone a chance in political office and they cannot speak English, but yet you're going to force someone who can speak English to do all the dirty work, um, the work they don't want to do. Let them earn the U.S. citizenship. Let them be required to prove their loyalty to this country. Again, I don't care what your race, religion, nationality. You here in America, you should assimilate to the culture. You could speak any language you want to speak in your own home, in your neighborhood, in your stores. I'm all for uh, learning different cultures and all that. I always was like that. But when someone is trying, whose motive is to boot you out, I have a problem with that. That's not love. They're smiling in your face, and when you turn around, they stab you in the back. They think I don't know what they're doing. I know exactly what they're doing. And I've been seeing this trend for a while, but I felt like, oh, maybe it's my imagination. Oh, I'm just being sensitive. No. When I saw what happened at the election, I mean, the inauguration, and then when I was on the train and they were speaking a foreign language, the person, and to get that job, you had to be in the union, you have to take a test and all that, and you have to be legal. Okay, so they know how to speak English. Why did they do that? Because they're letting you know, and it's a message to the other people who speak their language that it's going to be handed over to them. And I don't like that because, see, they really don't love me. Yeah, I don't mind doing business with anybody, of any national. And yesterday I had a fantastic time going uptown and shopping and I said hello in their language and all that. I said, oh, how do you say this in your language? And then I said it to her, how do you say thank you? See, I'm all for learning all this. And I had such a fantastic time experiencing different culture. And I want to learn different language. I was excited about that. But then the conductor and the inauguration, I know what they're up to. I know what they're up to. So that's why in this thumbnail, I put the American flag with the bald eagle, the symbol of America. Yeah, it's a beautiful symbol. It's a symbol of strength, but now they're trying to weaken it by destroying our borders, to bringing in, they want to destabilize America, bring in hungry ass people, and they know that they're aggressive and they do anything for money and a job. That's what's going on. Yeah, to do that, to give illegal aliens the right to run for Congress. Oh my God. Is this a nightmare or what? Is this a nightmare? This is a nightmare. I can't stay in this place with that happening. I don't feel comfortable. And it's going to hurt uh, America as a whole. It's going to especially hurt Black America. You've been here for centuries. You work hard, and then you believe the lie of these people who are actually trying to destroy America. They exploited your sensitivity, and you wanted to see what you wanted to see because you were in pain. Well, you're going to really be in pain, not by me. I was always on your side. But now you're going to really feel the pain when you're again being voted out, taking the crumbs, and all these new immigrants are going to have more rights than you. You're going to be forced to learn these foreign languages, give up your culture in order to survive. In order to survive and not be attacked by these people physically, because you're outnumbered. You're outnumbered, especially if you live in a place like New York City. You're outnumbered. Yeah, you better go to a foreign language school and learn these other foreign languages who are going to take over. Because you got to do something to increase your chances of employment. They're going to continue to say, oh, we need someone bilingual. No, it means that it's not bilingual because these other people don't even speak English. What they're trying to say is, we don't want you. We're going to hire these other ethnic groups over you. And you're going to feel like the ugly black woman left out. No one wants you. They don't want to marry you. They don't want to date you. They want these new foreign imports. See that? Yep. But you did it. You did it to yourself. Yeah, I love you. I care about you. I care about all Americans. I care about you all. But to learn just now that they're going to implement that, they're going to defund the wall and use that money that's stopping the building of the wall and use it for other programs. Um, yeah, this is just the beginning, you know. Uh, I want to save this country. I want this country saved. I want to uphold the constitutional republic of this nation. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it is my country. And I want to keep the language as the focal point to unite this country. So the choice is yours. We need to stand up and keep this country whole. Again, my background of why I feel the way I do speaks for itself of the companies that I work for and what they did to me. They took me out of the job and favored these people who may not have had their legal status to work lawfully in America, and they chose them over me just to save a buck. It's all about the money. Yeah, this is a sorry, the power. I'm surprised the battery's running low because I have it plugged in. Yeah, the battery's plugged in. It just prompted up it's losing power. That's weird. That is weird. Maybe I need to do something else. Let me take out this plug. Okay, I hope you can still hear me. Right. Let's put this thing here. I'm going to put this battery directly in it. Oops, sorry. I'm sorry there. Yeah, I had to the juice of the energy, it wasn't charging it quick enough, and the battery said it was low. It's plugged. It was already plugged in, but this device here, this is like a and I forget what you call this, and it has two ports in it. So one has my mic. This cord is my mic, and the other cord that you don't see is the for the battery to charge it. But it doesn't work well in this for whatever reason. So I hope you could hear me. Um, if you can hear me, viewer, just type one for yes that you can hear me because I had to pull out the mic. So I can pull this out now. Yeah. So I hope you can hear me. So yes, I love my country, and it's sickening me that they could just do that in my face. Yeah. I feel like I want to leave. It's a smack in my face. I served my country in the military. So it's not about hating anybody. I don't, I'm not hating, but I could easily feel hatred when someone steals something from me. I feel my country is being stolen from me. It should frighten you. But see, a lot of people in my community are foolish. So long they can look at some woman's behind or boobs, they don't like you. They like your money. And you see it. And you spend money on them, on some of these women, and then they send their money to relatives. So that again, that money is not staying in our black community. It's being sucked out. And it was something else about that. Um, See, the resources, the resources of black America is being pulled away. You have people, I remember something else that's going on in New York. In a town there, it can happen in your town where you have people who are sucking again the resources from America. And what they're doing, again, just a reminder about these glasses. These are pinhole glasses. I'm not trying to look cool, whatever, but these are pinhole glasses. It's to exercise my eyes. I used to have very good vision. I could read anything. But now my eyes are so bad. I cannot read without glasses. So this is to exercise my eyes, and permit me to see your comments. So that's why I have it on. I'm not trying to be rude or secretive, or try to look cool. I cannot see your comments. That's why I have it on. I have to be able to read it. So yeah, and the more I keep them on, it helps strengthen my eyes. Okay. So what's happening in some communities? Again, I'm not going to mention names of these communities because then I don't want to be called a bigot. So I go by behavior. I don't care what you are. Never care what people are. I care about what people do. I care about what people do, people's behavior. And what's happening in New York City and New York and our tri-state area, like even including New Jersey, you have people who have a scam. It's a scam. If you could use your house as a tax haven by considering it a religious institution. And so you get waived of paying this I think it's called property tax. Okay, I never owned a house, but I believe that the term is property tax. So those of you who know definitively, just write down in the comment below. Yes, it's a property tax, whatever, but it's some tax, and it excludes. They could, they exclude. They're excluded from that. And so what happens is they use their home as a church, and then uh, they collect the funding in the school, even though it's a private school. Yeah, it's a church and a school, and so they could direct the all my tax money into that person's home. So it funds them, their education, and it excludes them to pay taxes. So what happens? You become the bank for these people who don't want to assimilate into the American mainstream culture. Now again, see, I'm all in favor of whatever community you're from. To if you don't want to be in an American school system, which I don't blame you, have your own school system. Have your own private school and educate your family, your people, the way you want to. I'm all in favor of that. But I'm not in favor of you taking my tax money to fund your school, your private school, which you exclude outsiders. But you're taking my tax money, and then all that tax money is being pulled away from the people who don't belong to that religious organization, and it's they're suffering. They're suffering. And coincidentally, who are the people who live in those neighborhoods who are suffering? Black people. See again? You letting people you use as a battery source for these foreigners and for people who are legal here, who are even born here, but they don't love you. And somehow they always seem to live right next door to you, and you have to support them, black family, out of your hard earned money. They don't want you around them, they don't trust you, and they don't like you. But your tax money is being used and funneled in their community, and then they don't have to pay taxes, property tax, and then they're getting over. But you're left with the bill because now you have to pay extra taxes to support their community, because now their community gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, because they in general have a lot of children. Okay, and these black populations are having less and less and less children because many of these people are committing abortion. Okay, that is what's happening. But you're left to pay more taxes because they're having more children and the population growth, you have to pay more taxes for the school system. Yeah, because there's a school tax, there's property tax or land tax, all these taxes based on the population there. You have a growing population, but you have a population of people who aren't paying taxes because they learned the loophole, and that they also control the school system. See, again, excluding you. And one time your numbers were higher, but now they're outnumbering you. But you are supporting them. They're not supporting you. They've never supported you. So again, this is the theme of some people. They live in America. They don't want to associate with Americans. They don't like you. They want to keep their culture, but they want your resources. And then they stab you in the back and they have bad words against you. And then they tell the authorities that, you're the criminal, when they are the true criminal. And they do not serve in the U.S. military also. And they have dual citizenship. No, this has to stop. And you're allowed to have it. But if you expose them, then you'd be called the bigot. See that? You're going to be called the bigot if you expose them, even though they're not paying taxes, like what you are. The school money is being funneled to them because they control the school system. Wow. And you were working so hard. You work so hard to keep what you have, and you don't expose them. But you're getting angry, and then you falsely accuse someone to be a bigot, even though they were always on your side. Yeah. America's being taken away from you. They use these new people, plant them next to the black community, where they suck you dry. They suck all your resources. They love your music. They love your dance. They love your style of rap and everything, but they don't want you. They don't want you. And they didn't want you in Hawaii. They love your dollars. And yes, some of them marry the guys that go there, but they send them money to their families, and they use you as a piggy bank. Piggy bank. They only use you for money. And you're so foolish. Please wake up, black family. Please wake up, America as a whole. You have people who are in office, and they are committing, I call, crimes against the American flag, the constitutional republic for which it's supposed to stand for. Now trying to change the language of my nation that I belong to. And this has to stop. This has to stop. Use your eyes, people. Use your eyes and see what's really going on. Yeah, they're going to get rid of these, even these white American people. They call them, what do you call it? The far right. They call them the bigots. These are just white Americans who, maybe some of them have a very troubled past historically against so-called minorities. Yes, you have that. Yes, this country is a very racist country. But now, it's not about them being racist. Their country's being taken from them. And they were by the Constitutional Republic. And now it's being taken from them. And some of you might say, well, good for them. They did all these bad things against other groups. Yeah, many of them were a part of that. But now it's being taken away from you too. If it's to take away from white America, they're not. This new system is not about Black America. They use you as the poster child for racism or bigotry. They use your face on the milk carton, and once they finish drinking your milk, they throw you out. They throw out the container, and that's what you are, Black people. They using you. They using and exploiting your history of this, what happened to you in this country, to win over, to get into power. And once they get into power, they throw you out. Right after the new administration came into office, who do they fire? But that black guy. That guy, I think he was the Surgeon General. They fired him right away. See that, people? See that? Wake up, wake up, wake up. They're throwing you out. They used you. They used your face. The poor little black guy, black woman, poor boo-hoo, and then they throw you out. Wow, it wasn't even a week, and they threw that guy out in less than a week. Yeah, he doesn't like, he doesn't love you. They are using you as a veneer of inclusion, but they are here to sell out America and to sell you out too. They're going to sell you out. You're going to become jobless. You're going to have more homelessness on the street. Because now, with the border being open, they're going to bring in all these people from all over the world, hungry ass people. And a lot of these hungry ass people, now with this virus and people being jobless, they're going to really get violent to keep a job, to get your job. And they are going to be protected. And they are going to have more rights than you. Please wake up. So, these are my thoughts. I love America, even though it has a lot of flaws in it. But it's still my country, and I respect its laws, and you should too. God save America. God save the patriots and people who just want to relax and enjoy its beauty. This is really and truly a beautiful place. But now ugly people are in control. Please help us all. Those of you who like what I said, support my words, um, please give me a thumbs up. You could support my channel by PayPaling me, by going to my channel, Spirit Journey. And on the channel, on the right side of its banner, you see the PayPal me link. Just click on the link and follow the prompt. Any amount would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Sorry. Yes, any amount would be greatly appreciated. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support to me. And again, this is not about hatred. This is about loving yourself, loving the nation that you're born in, loving the nation that supports you. Support that which supports you. Support America. I thank you again. Peace, love, and joy. Bye bye.